The Cuyahoga County Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee meeting for Wednesday, May 21st is now called to order. Janine, would you please call the roll?
And just as a reminder to all who are in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Castleberry.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Ms. Conwell is absent at the moment. Mr. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Sweeney. Mr. Sweeney is absent at the moment. There is a quorum.
All right. Janine, has anyone signed in for public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, no one is signed in.
All right. Committee, at this time, we will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our April 30th, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. Janine, at this moment, would you read the first item that has been referred to this committee?
Resolution number 2025-0188, amending resolution number 2023-0371 dated 12/5/2023, which declared that public convenience and welfare requires the resurfacing of Bagley Road by changing the termini from Front Street to Lindbergh Boulevard to Beach Street in the city of Berea.
Nicole English with Public Works. So welfare and convenience is normally established up front for a project, which we did for this one. What happened is they actually had excess federal funding as we worked through the project. And in order to take advantage of that excess federal funding, the city has asked if we could extend the limits of the project about 0.2 miles. So going from 0.8 miles to a 1 mile stretch of road. NOACA agreed to that. And so we're just finalizing that in writing so that it all lines up when we go to sell the project. So no additional money from the county is being put in. It's still an 80-10-10 project as it was. It's really just trying to maximize that federal money that they were awarded through NOACA.
Take advantage of dollars that are
Correct.
already there.
Yep.
Okay. And just for the record, termini, that's for what?
Oh.
Explain that to all of our.
Right, so just the end, the project was going from Front Street to Lindbergh. Now we're going Lindbergh to Beach Street. So Beach Street is just about 2 blocks beyond Front Street. So we're just moving that end piece.
Okay. All right, thank you. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Council President?
Is there a substitute that we,
Yes, I understand that the preamble is missing maybe the new termini, so I believe Janine has the new, and you all have the new substitute language that was just left off.
so I'll make a motion that we accept the substitute and make it the version that's before the committee.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Any other questions? Nope. All right. If there are no further questions, we will entertain a motion.
Is there a need for suspension?
No, this can go 3. Thank you.
I'll move that we refer Resolution 2025-0188 favorably for second reading.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Resolution number 2025-0189, making an award on requisition number 15146 to Sona Construction in the amount not to exceed $1,229,000 for the Cuyahoga County Metzenbaum Building Elevator Modernization Project.
Nicole English again with Public Works. So this is a bid that came in late last year. It was to modernize the elevator in Metzenbaum. Currently, we're not ADA compliant on the entry, so this is putting in a new elevator that will give us ADA compliance. The engineer's estimate was just under 1.3 million. We received 3 bids within about 3.5% of each other. The lowest bidder was non-compliant with the technical requirements and non-compliant with diversity. The second lowest bidder was non-compliant with diversity and elected not to go to the administrative reconsideration panel. And then the third bidder was found compliant after they went to the administrative reconsideration panel with the diversity compliance. And so that is who we're awarding the project to. And so that is Sona. And there was 3. Any questions? I'm happy to take.
Say the name of the class or that they took when they were found non-compliant.
So they apply to that reconsideration panel that the county has. And so everybody who's non-compliant, we issue a letter and tell them that and that give them the ability to go state their case as to why. This bidder had had each of the categories, but they didn't have them, they had the total to the percent that was asked for. However, they didn't have each percent, and so they went and explained why they did what they did, and the panel did grant them, made them compliant.
So what you're saying is they were not compliant, they went to the panel.
Correct.
The panel,
They then find the bid compliant.
without change, without any,
Correct.
why is that so?
So let me ask Director Lockett. I know she doesn't, it's not run out of her department, but she might have some more insight as to what happened there. We aren't on the panel, Public Works, so I'm not familiar with what happened.
Good morning, Lenore Lockett, Department of Equity and Inclusion. So for this item, there were 3 goals. There was a 6% SBE goal, a 14% MBE goal, and a 5% WBE goal. When we look at the goals are based on the prior, the scope of work and the data that we have from that database of vendors that provide the services within the proposed scope of work, and we come up with the goal. The goal is a goal, is not a quota. So a vendor can meet the goal completely or partially, but document good faith effort. And so I'm giving you my reasoning, then why we went to there's the next layer. So, and when you set up a program that you're having diversity goals and good faith effort, you don't want the diversity goals to really be operating as a quota. So you have to have a means of appeal for vendors if they're determined to be non-compliant. So in our case, the means of appeal is the administrative reconsideration panel. So for bids, when the bids come in, they're evaluated by my department, and in this case, they were short on the WBE goal, 1.7.
WBE,
Right, Women Business Enterprise.
instead of 5%, they were at 1.7.
Right, 1.7. They exceeded the SBE goal. They were at 9.51, and the goal was 6. They exceeded the MBE goal. The goal was 14%, and the actual was 20. So this is one of those gray areas. However, the fact that we can have WBE goals means that within that last disparity study, there was a disparity between our utilization of women enterprises within the economic market. So one of the changes that we made was that we didn't want a pattern of setting different goals and then vendors proposing but not making a good faith effort for each of the goals. So in many times, we could set goals and then a vendor might only do the SBE goal, but do that at 30%, so they never fulfill the MBE and the WBE goal. So our change was that they have to document how they tried to reach each individual goal instead of just saying, I'm going to meet the SBE goal and that's it. So in this case, when we reviewed that while we recognized that they did exceed the other goals, we did not have documentation of their good faith effort to reach the WBE goal, which we needed emails, documentation, things of that sort. The only information we had was that on October 28th, they showed that they contacted people, but the bids were due October 31st. Our program requires that you reach out at least a week ahead of the bid due date. So it's kind of like, and I'm going to use an analogy, it's kind of like asking someone out on Friday for a Saturday. If you really, in most cases, if you really wanted that date, you ask earlier. So that's the analogy. So in this case, they appealed to the administrative reconsideration. So that's the appeal opportunity. And I can't speak for the board. I was there and provided my presentation, and the vendor also similarly provides a presentation. And I believe they provided that they just didn't submit their other outreach. They provided, again, the last outreach that they did. But they documented with the board that they had provided other outreach, but were still unsuccessful. Okay.
Any further questions?
Mr. Chair.
Councilman.
Thank you. Hi, Nicole, thank you. Can you just describe for the scope of this work, how long is the project expected to last? And it's kind of multiple questions. Is there Just the one elevator?
Yes.
Okay,
So it is just one elevator they're adding to give that ADA compliance, to get us out of non-compliance on the entry of the building. So I am taking pretend I'm Matt Reimer here. He's at another meeting. This is his project. So I don't have exactly how long it would take. I imagine this is less than a year project getting in there and done, but we can get that information for you.
Understood, thank you.
The Metzenbaum building, it was inactive for quite some time, right?
Correct. There is some function happening in there right now. Juvenile court has
Juvenile court.
functions in there. Correct. And just back to the SBE, the vendor that we are awarding to, they are an SBE and an MBE themselves. So the prime is also meeting that requirement, just as an FYI.
Prime is the SBE
And an
slash
MBE. Correct, both.
And this is elevator work?
Correct. There's a little bit more to it because there is no elevator today, so there's some construction. So Sona Construction is the contractor, and then they are buying the elevator, and they'll work with an elevator contractor to come in and put the actual elevator in.
Gotcha. So the work isn't on the elevator, it's
The whole shaft and everything. Yep, correct.
to house the elevator. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. Again, any further questions?
Yes, I have one, if I may.
Council President, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Ms. Nicole. I know there's been some discussion about having some kind of children's services program operating out of the Metzenbaum Center, and my question is whether that's still being contemplated, and if so, what the status of it is.
We did do construction work to get that ready for that, and we have a certificate of occupancy for them to do that exact function. And I would say we should talk with HHS about where they stand with that. I'm not privy to where their plan is. I know we have gotten it ready for that use.
Thank you.
Right, if there are no.
And this
Yes,
can go
right.
3 readings.
3 readings?
Yep.
Okay. All right, we will entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right, properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, thank you. All right, is there any miscellaneous business? If not, our meeting is adjourned.